This video is about when I was in hospital for 3 weeks. I was feeling ill and I had some pain in the left side of my stomach. This got worse over the weekend. It had got to Sunday night, and I thought this is getting worse, so I decided to get it checked out. This was surprising to me because I never go to the doctor or seek medical assistance. When I got there, I needed to get checked in. After they had done all the tests, they took me to a massive accident and emergency room and got me on a bed. This room was big, and even though it had sections with curtains for each patient, there were way more patients than spaces. A nurse came to help me to get into a gown, and my body was spasming, and she said in an aggressive-sounding voice, "Relax, stop moving." I ignored her and tried to relax. She said it 2 more times, and I lost my patience and snapped at her. I had a fairly new assistant with me, so unfortunately, he didn't tell her I could not help it. I was not happy and feeling ill, not a good combination. My assistant stayed with me overnight and dozed in a chair. I thought I had an assistant coming in the morning, but he did not turn up. My assistant who stayed the night rang one of my other assistants and explained what happened. She then phoned my mum. Since my brother worked near me, she rang him and he came to the hospital. I felt totally helpless because I did not have an assistant with me and the nurses did not know how to communicate with me. My brother explained to them about how I communicated and that I had spasms. He spent the day with me and Mum came in the afternoon. I was extremely grateful to him for coming. I had a cannula put in my arm, which I hated. Putting it in my arm was hard work. A minimum of 2 people had to do it. One person had to pin my arm down while the other one inserted it. I kept accidentally pulling the cannulas out due to my involuntary movements. The nurses got the hang of putting them in and was not afraid to really pin my arm down. Towards the end of my stay, they started giving me medicine orally. Since the medicine tasted disgusting, after taking it, I had to have some Ribena instantly to cover up the taste. However, on the first day, painkillers were suggested to me, but because the hospital had run out of liquid pain relief, I had to have them the undignified way. It was not very pleasant. I spent several days on different wards until they placed me on the right one, which specialized in pneumonia. This was hard to deal with because the nurses did not realize my intelligence was not affected by my disability. I was frustrated with everything, including myself. It took a few days for the nurses to get to know me and stop patronizing me. They would ask my staff or Mum what I wanted, and Mum or my staff would ask the exact question to me. Also, when they were taking my blood pressure, they kept saying just relax. This was frustrating because I was thinking they must have had some disability awareness training. As they got to know me, they soon realized my intelligence was not affected and so talked normally to me. They were wonderful to me. I particularly liked one of the nurses who worked nights. On his first night he instantly knew that I liked a bit of a laugh. He used to take my blood levels. On one occasion, he was doing my blood pressure and the machine gave a worrying reading. He said if that was really my blood pressure, I would have been dead, so he assumed the machine was faulty. Often I used to slide down the bed, so he and another nurse moved me up and they made funny comments to cheer me up. As a part of my treatment, I had to have a chest drain put in. I was not looking forward to this as I thought it was going to hurt. A really lovely consultant did it. She really connected with me. She said we would do this together. She told me everything she was going to do stage by stage. I had my mum and a lovely nurse there reassuring me that I was doing really well. To have such support during the procedure was really helpful. I thought the consultant was absolutely brilliant because she went really slowly, numbing each bit as she went. I hated this chest drain because I could not relax. I did not sleep when it was in. I was losing weight, so they recommended I had a feeding tube put in my nose, so I said yes, okay. A nurse was putting it in and it felt horrible. The tube was a bit of a way up my nose, and my sats were dropping and I was struggling. He quickly realized I could not cope and quickly took it out. Even now I feel emotional thinking how much discomfort I was in. Up until then, I did not cry despite everything I went through, but the feeding tube was too much. I decided I was going to make myself eat more. I never want to go through that experience again. I did feel sorry for my assistants because I needed a lot of support, especially in the night. I was in bed most of the time, but I was uncomfortable. I had so many pillows around me it was unbelievable, but they kept moving and my assistants kept having to adjust them. The hospital did not provide my staff a bed, so they slept in an armchair. Even that was difficult to obtain. After just over 3 weeks, I was well enough to get home and I felt very relieved. I had to go for a scan to see if the liquid had gone, which it had. The day came when I was going home and I was very excited. As I was in the hospital over 3 weeks, I became fond of the nurses. Many of them came to say goodbye, including my favorite male nurse. As I entered into my flat, I felt really weird. It was like I was in a dream. I was really emotional because I was remembering the experiences I had, and all the kind people who looked after me. I want to give you some advice if you happen to go into hospital or support someone in hospital. Explain the person's disability and how to communicate with them. Try to befriend a few nice nurses who connect with you both, because they would do their best and check up on you. Finally, do not be afraid to ask what you need. The nurses are there to help people to get back to health, so make sure to get what you want. I hope this video has been helpful for you. I have given you a very honest account of my experience. Be honest.